Ladies and gents, no, ladies and gentlemen, where are you? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We were away since, I think, Monday or Tuesday. So this is the weekly review, the weekend review for the stock market, particularly three stocks in particular. Specifically, we're going to look at Rich Tech Robotics, Serve Robotics, and last of all, HOLO stock, which is known as MicroCloud. So let's look at Rich Tech first. It is down 13%, almost 14% on Friday, but it is up after hours 3%. So let's look at the week for Rich Tech and look for any news. My browser is going a little slow. Just please forgive my laptop. I can't do anything about it. I'm just, I've got like 20 tabs. Maybe that's the problem. Alright, I'm gonna have to pause this. Let me pause it until things are working. Yeah, clearly this is... Okay, so Rich Tech Robotics had a really good week at the beginning anyway. It started off, I think it was at $2 at the, right at the start of the week, 9:30, right at the opening of the bell. Went up to 188, went as high as $2. I think it was 201 or something like that. And then it was shorted to 150, went up again, 168. It's finding support at 150, 130. But now it's gone down to 125. So what's the story here? Well, if we look at the last month, it'll give us a better understanding of where is true support. And true support is right here, 37 to 50 cents. That's where I bought the stock, around 50 cents. Sold it above $1. Should have waited for the $2, but I got a little impatient with not impatient, but more, yeah, it is impatient, but I wanted to get into the HOLO boat, and we'll talk about that later in any case. So that's Rich Tech Robotics. I didn't see any news, or I just didn't wait for the news to load. In any case, if there was news, it would have skyrocketed, okay? But let's give it a fair chance, and let's open it up again and look for the news. In the meantime, let's look at Serve Robotics stock and see how their week went. Oh boy, okay, so we started off around $10, was shorted down to 8. But it was all the way up at 16 at one point. 16 was the peak. That's resistance right there. 15.20 is resistance, and support is $2. True support anyway. $2 to $3 is true support for Serve Robotics. In terms of news, we see some news regarding a $20 million private placement. Okay, what is that about? That was recently in the last 3 days. They've been reporting on that news. So let's see what that is after we look at Rich Tech's news. Oh, that's why. Ow. Okay. So we have some bad news for both. Maybe seems like bad news for both. So Rich Tech Robotics announces an offering of shares, so that's going to dilute the shares a little bit. So that explains why the price did go down today. $21 million public offering. And it says here, an upsized public offering of 15.5, rounded off to 15.6 million shares. So that's at a value of 135. That explains why the stock went down to that level. If they offered it at $2 per share, the price would have gone up, wouldn't it? So I don't know why they did it that way. That doesn't seem to be. But maybe they didn't want to buy it at any price less than that. So that's what happens. The price went down. So that's bad news for Rich Tech, but long-term wise, I think Rich Tech goes to $5. I have zero doubt in my mind that it's going to head to $5 and $10 eventually. They have a product that works, and they're expanding to over 200 Walmarts, and it's only going to grow and snowball. So this is Serve Robotics, $20 million placement. What does that even mean? Private placement and warrant exercise. So it looks like a contract of some sort. So that's actually good news. Okay, so that's good news for Serve. Now we're going to get on with HOLO. And we've got a lot of tabs in the Reddit. I'll have to sift through those and see which ones I want to read. But we've had a roller coaster ride this last week. It's more of a downward roller coaster, but I remember opening up the week, it was about 50 cents, 51 cents, just above 50 cents. And then Tuesday, that's when everything started crashing down. It's like everything was crashing down around me. That's the way it felt like. Went down to 40. Then the following day went down to 29. I remember going to 29, 30. Actually, it was 31. Around 32 cents, something like that. 32, 31 cents. And I thought, okay, oh man, this is just horrible. I don't want to do videos because I don't want to report anything that is, what am I trying to say here? I don't want to report something that isn't helpful. Okay, that it's just going to create fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I'm not about that. I want to have my emotions in check and report to you what I feel is the truth anyway. And then on Thursday, we saw it rise from 32 to 40, and then it went down right back down to 34. It's like we couldn't catch a break. And then today, it went all the way up to 41, or 44, I should say, 44.50. So we see some light at the end of the tunnel. Looks like maybe better days are ahead. But the clear support is showing up at 30 cents, 30 to 32 cents. So that's a good thing. But one of the really important things that I mentioned is the last update I posted. It was in the shorts, however, not in the videos. In shorts, I said we might need a reverse stock split in order for the squeeze to happen, in order for the pump and dump to occur. Because if you look at the price action here, essentially the stock was at 25 cents. If you look at this section here, it was at 25 cents, 30 however cents. It was under $1 because that's when the stock was before the 10 for 1. So you had it at 67 cents, you had it at $1, and it was shorted all the way down to essentially 17 cents. And then when they announced the reverse stock split, and then it took effect, that's where we saw. Oh, I'm not reading the chart correctly. I'm sorry. It's over here. Okay, so if you look at right before the squeeze, essentially the stock was worth $1.30, and then was shorted all the way down to, what's that? 15 cents. Okay, from $1.30 to 15 cents. And then when they did the reverse stock split, the price went up to $2.80, and then all the way up to $6.60. Okay, so I think you can expect the reverse stock split to move things more than anything else. Sadly, I didn't really analyze that to that extent. I did, however, analyze that true support was around 30 cents. I just, for whatever reason, the fear of missing out. Because of that, I just said, what the hell with it, let's jump on board. And that was the wrong move. I didn't have the right entry price. I should have waited for at least 30 cents, 32 cents. Not really understanding that support for this because of the, again, fear of missing out. Okay, we're going to go through the Reddit posts. Oh, and the volume was 61 million. Actually, it's been going up the last couple of days. Whereas at the beginning of the week, it started off good, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, it was kind of stagnating. Okay, went through the first tab, and it's true. I do believe, as the chart person mentioned, I forgot, Real Chart Champ, he mentioned that it is a Chinese pump and dump. I fully agree. Now that I saw this last week, not that I didn't think it was a Chinese pump and dump, but I was still on the fence that, it's not so much a pump and dump. I thought there's also a short squeeze element involved, and yes, there is, but it's also combined with the pump and dump element. And that's an interesting observation. Yes, the market has been down the last week, but today we saw where the market was going down, and HOLO actually went up. And usually HOLO goes down with the market, so that is an interesting observation. Okay. So this post, I think it's comparing HOLO to this company, which was valued at 8 billion and is now expected to reach 55 billion. Whether HOLO will be valued in the billions to this degree, I don't know, because I honestly don't know if they're a legit company in terms of the products they have. They could say, they have time travel, and I don't really wouldn't know any better. DCA on HOLO. I usually never do this. Right, I never usually do this with this type of stock. I feel like if I can hold for long enough, when all the hype is gone, around guessing the next spike, I could end up with a good average if it ever does again. Just hoping there isn't a reverse split or we're done for. No, I don't think. The funny thing is the reverse split is going to bring the stock up. Exactly what this person said. It's not bad. It's actually it's gonna push the shorts out of the picture, and you have to buy back the stock at what it's worth. Yeah, it depends on your average. That's a great point. Your entry point will make you or break you, and right now, I'm sort of in the middle. I didn't buy at $1, but I didn't buy at 30 cents. I bought in between there. How many shares are you sitting on? Yeah, this is probably a short seller, but it's better not to even talk about that and not give any numbers. So that's why I don't talk about the specifics. I just give you a general idea, a very vague idea. But one thing that really gave me peace this week in terms of HOLO is I said to myself, you know what? I don't want to sell for a loss. So what I did, I said to myself, just put your limit price, whatever you bought it at, or just a little bit more, whatever I think it would sell at a comfortable price per share, and just keep renewing the order every so often. That's it. Don't even watch it every day, but don't watch it every minute. So see how it does at the end of the day, because by the time it starts squeezing or pump and dump action, whatever, spiking, we still have at least 7 days. It showed us the last 3 times there's at least 7 to 14 days. So I'm saying, as I said in another video, I said sell from a week after the first peak. So there you go. We'll have at least a week. But it's better to check it every day just to be certain. We're not playing games. This is, in a lot of ways, it's life and death for some people, because if they don't have this money, they won't be able to pay rent, buy food, etc. Some people they're relying on their investments to keep them afloat. At what price are you guys considering selling? Another short seller. Honestly, just wait for the peak. Just wait for the squeeze and just see where it goes. I think that's about it. Okay, wait. Let's see what this says. Okay, so this post is saying investing.com. With a deeper understanding of the company's current financial health and stock performance, according to Investing Pro, HOLO holds more cash than debt on its balance sheet, which could be a positive indicator for the company's ability to meet its short-term obligations. Additionally, the relative strength index suggests that the stock is currently in oversold territory, indicating that the stock may be undervalued and could potentially rebound. So I need to look at that RSI for HOLO. Okay, my question is, how do they know that they have more income than debt? How do they know this? It could be false. I'm really suspicious about that, regarding that. So let's look at their RSI. I don't really see it here. Oh, here it is. Okay. So an RSI below 30 means it's oversold and underappreciated, undervalued. But over, I think it's 70, that means it's overbought and overappreciated. So what's the number here? Looks like 46. Is that correct? It's either 46 or... No, that's the price of the stock. So it's at 46. It's not. It's not. It's not below. Below it has to be below 30. So it's getting closer, but it's still in between those numbers. Hollow Moon Time, boys. Hollow Moon Time. Okay, we'll see going forward. It's been an emotional week. Yeah, it certainly has. We saw an insane spike from 20 to 70, which could not be explained with anything other than retail and investors jumping in to grab a lottery ticket. That's exactly what I did, to be honest. This case has been and always will be a gamble. Don't let the emotions get to you. Happened to me. If you are in this stock with more money than you're willing to lose, please reconsider. That being said, please stop spamming with minute charts and FUD. And I didn't want to do that on my channel. I didn't want to give you false hope or false FUD. I just wanted to provide what is helpful, what is actually realistic, what is based on fact and evidence. Based on the numbers. Following the recent sentiment, any posts or comments explicitly marketing other tickers will be banned. Okay, so that's a good post. Just keep a level head. Stocks will go up, stocks will go down. And one thing that really helped me during this week is I said to myself that, your fate or who you are is not determined by one day. If your stock is down 20%, 50%, it doesn't determine who you are, because the next day might be different. It might be dramatically different. We saw that throughout the week when the price went from above 50 cents to almost 30 cents, and now we're back up at 41, 44. I mean, we have to see what next week has in store. We can't base our success and our perception of who we are on one day or 1 week or even 1 month. This is long-term investing. It's not, for me anyway, it's long-term investing, and you're not determined, who you are is not determined by 1 day or 1 week. And we didn't have a great week. Looks like a reverse stock split is in the planning. Yep. Do you think they'll be delisted? I don't think they will, but it's all in their hands. It's in the hands of the HOLO owners. Are they gonna do a reverse split? Will they want to stay alive and do the reverse split? If they do so, we're going to see another pump and dump. We're going to see the stock rise again. That's going to save a lot of people from losing millions of dollars, possibly even billions of dollars. I think it's probably in the billions, but in any case, asking since we were dealing with that. Okay, I hope they don't get delisted, but it's up to them. So that's a big X factor. We have to see what happens in February, and if they can actually get the price above $1 before then. Hopefully they can. If they can't, then they'll have to resort to that. That's a last resort. HOLO, both bulls and bears understanding HOLO is not a very good decision to make. It's not the best stock. Yeah. I don't want to hold on to this for 10 years. Bad idea to go YOLO. That's what I just did. Most likely, it's not a bad investment. It's something to risk a little bit on. Have faith. Yeah, you have to have faith in the stock, and that's part of investing. There's always an element of faith. Whether you invest in McDonald's or Costco or Google or Apple, you still have to believe that they're competent. You have to have some modicum of faith. Okay, they're betting on three things. There's a pattern. Yeah, that's kind of what drew me in. An influx and a mega pump. A short squeeze is possible. Doesn't have that much attention. Reverse split, decreasing the number of shares can cause a significant pump. Yeah. So yeah, all these three things are true. But one thing that, I don't get everything right. Obviously with metamaterials, and then with this, the jury's still out on this one. But I broke my cardinal rule, and the rule was this. Only invest in companies that have a proven track record, right? That you wouldn't mind holding for 10 years. That's the Warren Buffett rule. And this broke that. And another rule of mine, I don't buy Chinese companies, and especially pump and dumps. And those are two rules broken right there. And then third rule, entry point. I broke that as well. So I should get burned from this. I really, if I lose a lot of money, so be it. But those are the three lessons that I hope to instill in people, and I need to learn that for myself. I can't teach this and not do it myself. I have to practice what I preach, essentially. So I'm learning the hard way. I didn't listen to any of those things. All the bears, please stop cursing. Cursing around, and then they curse. To all the bulls, please stop risking your rent money. Please stop posting random shots. No one can guarantee the pump. Yeah, 100%. We can't guarantee it. Just have to hold in there. A reasonable post. And that's what I want to be, a voice of reason too. I don't want to give you false hope. I don't want to give you I don't want to push fear. I don't want to push false hope either. Just present reality and try to keep a level head and just see things in the larger perspective. If you think it's going up and buy the dips, just make sure you don't put more than you can afford to lose. And you know what? I wish that I bought at 30 cents. Between 30 to 35. But I don't have a crystal ball. You know, I can only look at the chart, and the chart indicated, yeah, it was this true support is at 29. But people put in their automatic buy orders, and I think that's what drove the price up from 30 31. So it seems a lot of people put their buy order at 31. It hit that mark, and then we saw the stock go up right away, like pretty much instantly, and it went up to 41, went up to 44, and that's keeping it afloat. So we can see, true support is keeping the stock alive at the 29 to 31 cent, 32 cent range. So I hope that was helpful. That's the weekend review for HOLO. It was an emotional week. You know what, it did affect me, and I haven't posted a video in a while, but I wanted to make sure I got this video out, this weekend review, to just look at the week in perspective and try to make sense of where the stock is going. Right now, it's not the greatest, but it's not the worst. It could be, 20 cents. It could get shorted down to zero. Could get shorted down to 1 penny. But the stock is staying alive for now. So two scenarios are potentially will happen, is that the pressure of retail investors and the pressure of the immense volume that could come in could create a short squeeze. Could drive the stock up before a reverse split has to happen. But if that doesn't happen before February and it stays well below $1, then it has to. That's it. That's the final alternative, is a reverse stock split. That's the only thing that will save this stock and a lot of our bank accounts, essentially. So at least we have a plan B. Okay, at least there's that. So I did mention my short. It's good news and bad news. It's bad news because, we don't want to have to wait that long, and we also don't want the stock price to be diluted. But that is what's going to be needed and necessary for it to get a stock squeeze, to get a price action, to see it spike eventually to whatever it's going to spike to. But yeah, I'm hopeful because of the patterns that we saw in the past. Is it going to be abandoned by those who pumped and dumped the stock previously? I hope not. That's another factor. Will they abandon the stock? Will they not do a reverse stock split? Because if that happens, then we're SOL. We're just out of luck, man. So those are the realistic scenarios I see playing out. I hope A and B would play out, but not C, which is just nothing happens and then they just abandon ship. That's the worst case scenario. But plan B, I think that's the most likely scenario. I don't see it being squeezed before then. But if it happens, I'm going to welcome it. But it's going to take a while because we're only in August. We're getting to September in a little bit. And so it'll be September, October, November, December, January. It's going to be another 6 months of this. Like, I'm pretty much in paralysis mode. I can't really do anything because my stocks are being held up. My money's being held up with the stock, and that was a mistake not to diversify, not keep half, with Rich Tech, for instance, or other companies, just diversify in general. So that's my situation. That's a situation with HOLO. So thank you for your time, and welcome the new subscribers. Welcome you guys. Thanks for joining in my channel. And let's see what the next days and weeks ahead will bring us. So that's all for now. Have a great weekend, everybody. Until then, God bless HOLO and God bless you all. Check back with you on Monday.